RSL Nation. Here we are, the bros, once again.
Welcome back, everybody. It's a beautiful, sunny. We got spring weather finally here.
I'm excited. I got so excited that I think I'm going to take my kid to soccer practice today.
Well, it's Tuesday.
Yes.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah. So he has soccer practice. So yeah,
Yeah,
there we go.
I told you, but I'll tell everybody else. I was supposed to ref a game today, but for some reason, I don't know why, it got canceled. I'm not upset. That just clears up schedule so you and I can record today. So perfect.
Yeah, because we were actually worried about recording, like when.
Yeah, because our schedules don't align anymore. Because I ref every single day this week. Alan has life that's crazy, so it works out perfectly. So thank you.
Hey, thank you, and you're welcome. All right, we have a packed show, but as you can hear, I have company.
You do, you do.
Like always, I
Now,
have company.
now that the family is back, there's never a quiet moment in your house.
Never a quiet moment. So I have my daughter decides to what's that sloth thing from Crudes? I think they
You
call
know,
him belt or something like that.
I haven't seen Crudes. I don't have little
Oh,
kids, so
so whatever that thing is called, she's doing the da
you know,
all the time
you,
now.
you know, I thought she was like pretending to be Kevin. I thought she was a little minion, but
She does talk like a minion.
she does talk like a minion.
So if you hear some babbling, it's not me, and it probably maybe not be Marcos. But
No,
um,
no, no.
we have a lot of stuff to go. Well, we always have stuff to go over, but let's go
Always,
over it all.
always.
let's um let's talk about one the games this past weekend from
Yeah,
MLS.
because unfortunately, RSL didn't have a game, so we got to catch up on other games that went on.
Yeah, we got to talk about all those other games. With those games, there's a lot of stuff going on, so we'll
Hmm.
do that to start off, and then there's some other things that went on over the weekend that well, we'll go over it. But the Royals played this weekend. That was cool.
Hmm.
We have a couple of call ups from RSL.
Yeah, very cool, very cool.
Our academy teams just totally ripped, ripped every team in Europe.
Yeah, they destroyed.
So, and then some little topics, and then we'll get into the big preview.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's get right into it. So we had some good games on Saturday and Sunday, like I mentioned.
Hmm.
RSL didn't play. We had our bye week, unfortunately. So a lot of games stood out, a lot of action. But I'm gonna start off for me. The game that stood out. I'm trying to scroll through
Do you
here.
remember what game you mentioned last episode?
I do. It was the Houston Portland game, and unfortunately, Houston they won at home.
Rats.
Rats, I know, right? But the game that caught my eye and attention that was kind of surprising, if you were paying attention, was the Chicago Montreal game.
Now,
Freaking,
why did it catch your attention?
if you look how many lead changes we had in that game, um, we have
I mean,
Chicago that's
there were 7 goals, so
there were 7 goals, but Chicago had 2 goals in the 90th minute. But Kellen Acosta had, in my opinion, goal of the week with they don't call that Windy City for nothing. The way that ball just curved. Oh my gosh.
I think it was similar to.
You
I
got a
think it
little
was.
sloth on your shoulder.
I do. So I think it was similar to Roberto Carlos's goal. Like
Hmm.
the Brazil against France one.
Yeah, yeah.
That one was legit. I think so. Um, that was a good one. Oh, she's heavy now. Um, but the but what else was it? Just because of those two 90-minute goals and all the lead changes?
Yeah, I really thought from the get-go, I was like, oh, Montreal has this. They have 2 goals in the first 10 minutes. Chicago is not playing great, but it was just the aspect of Chicago coming back that was really cool. Another game that kind of I guess caught my eye and attention was kind of surprising was that Minnesota LAFC game because I didn't from the get-go think that Minnesota was going to be the team that was going to be top of the Western Conference. But LAFC has kind of surprised me a lot ever since their snow game here with their loss. They've kind of gone downhill. Am I
Well,
right?
well, we can definitely get into a lot about that, but the one thing I do want to mention, and that everyone's mentioned it before, that LAFC's mentality has been in the pits this season. Um,
Mhm.
that they made excuses about the snow game,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
which
for sure,
definitely shows where their mentality is at. But the
for
fact
sure.
that they haven't been able to recover just shows you exactly where all their mentality is at.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of it's kind of surprising, shocking, but Minnesota's legit. So don't.
Let's talk like 2 seconds about that because I'm surprised. I won't
Yeah.
say I'm scared yet because when do we even play them?
I'll pull. I'll pull. We actually play Minnesota on the road in 2 weeks. Like
No, you see,
April 6th. So I
I
guess 3 weeks.
think
3 weeks.
someone retweeted what they retweet? They was it MLS? No, it was Fox. Put out a tweet that's saying like the last undefeated teams in MLS, and
Hmm.
someone put like 7 out of our next 9 games are or
Yeah.
out of our next 9 games, 7 of them are these opponents.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh,
Not great. Not great at all.
no, totally freaky. But
Yeah.
um, let me give you my game that I well. Do you remember what my game was that I mentioned last episode?
I'm trying to scroll through who we have. I do not. I was gonna
Ah,
get. I was gonna guess one, but I totally would be a shot in the dark.
okay, yeah, don't shoot in the dark. But it was the Galaxy St. Louis game.
Okay, that one also had a lot of goals.
Yes, that one had a lot of goals. And I said before we started, sorry, not before we started. I mentioned last episode that that this team, the Galaxy team, is super improved,
Hmm.
and with St. Louis kind of leaving the honeymoon stage, it was going to be kind of interesting to see how St. Louis is reacting right now. So that
Hmm.
game didn't surprise me, but it it didn't surprise me, but it did in the sense that I thought the Galaxy were going to win, to be honest.
Yeah,
But I'm glad that it didn't let me down the
yeah.
actual game.
You're freaking have a 95th minute tying goal by Yoshida, which impressive. I really thought when St. Louis had that own goal by McCarthy, I was like, oh, St. Louis has this in the bag. But Yoshida's like, not so fast, my friend.
Yep, exactly. So the West is turning out to be like,
It's a dogfight. It's anybody's game.
but it seems like every year the West
Oh yeah.
turns out to be a dogfight.
Well, yeah. We're only 4 games into the season, but Minnesota is surprising me. Like I knew what Vancouver was all about because we kind of saw that last season, but Minnesota did not expect that whatsoever.
Well, there's two other results that I didn't expect, and I'll add a third in there too.
Uh-huh.
I had mentioned my other game was Seattle, Colorado.
Yeah.
That one surprised me because one I think is because Seattle played normal, but the fact that Colorado hung in there,
Yeah.
that's what surprised me. But again, I didn't. I said it was my game to watch. I didn't know who was going to win.
Yeah.
My two other games, real quick, are the Dallas Vancouver, with Vancouver playing as well as they are. We'll leave
Hmm.
it at that because
Well,
we have to
yeah,
talk about Vancouver.
for sure, for sure.
But my other one was exactly that the no the Austin one because of how bad Philly is playing.
Well, you have to give credit to because I wasn't Philly just coming off of a CONCACAF.
Yeah, but Philly hasn't been doing well at all this season.
That's true. Yeah, they haven't won
They
at
haven't
all this season.
won.
They haven't won at all this season.
I mean, we can even throw in a couple of other teams like Orlando is also a big surprise that they haven't won a game as well. New England. I mean, those teams were the ones that were top 5, 6 in the table last season, and now they haven't even won a game, and we're four games into the season.
Like as much as you want to give the excuse for CONCACAF, that can't just be the excuse for everything because all these teams that are in CONCACAF aren't doing great in the regular season.
Yeah, I'm looking. Oh yeah, none
Like
of them.
the only one
No,
that's in the only,
Columbus.
well, I was gonna say the only team that's still in CONCACAF that's doing decent. You got Columbus, Miami.
Hmm.
You look over in the West.
No one.
No one. No one. So it's literally just Columbus and Miami that's still in CONCACAF
Because
that are doing decent.
the West it was Houston and LAFC, right?
No, LAFC is not in it.
Oh, it was Houston and who else from the West?
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Oh, flip.
Yeah.
Um, hmm. That yeah, that's not good. That's well, that just tells you gives more testament to the fact that the West is just a pure dogfight and it's not three or four like super good teams.
Right. Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'm
So
just saying.
yeah, just saying, but still very early. But I like this kind of competitiveness that we're getting at it. But speaking of competitiveness and dogfight, that's what we saw in all the games on Saturday. We counted 6 red cards that were handed out. So that's the most I think that we've seen in week 4 of MLS soccer. Does
Um, it
does
doesn't surprise me.
doesn't surprise you?
Look, if those who follow my individual page have probably have been seeing me go off on a bunch of referee pages and threads and whatnot. Lately, I'm super frustrated, and I hope I don't take too long on this. I'm super frustrated with the people that have been saying that these replacement referees have been doing the same job in terms of performance wise. That they've been performing the same as the actual professional referees. That they've
Yeah.
been making the same kind of calls, making the same mistakes. No, everyone, no. The
No.
professional referees, yes, they make mistakes. Yes, I know.
Hmm.
But the level of mistake, the quality of mistakes is different.
Yeah.
These replacement referees are making amateur mistakes,
Yeah.
which cost the game, cost momentum. Whereas the professional referees are making professional mistakes, like things.
So if you look at some of these red cards over the weekend, we had, like I mentioned, 6 of them. Were some of those actual legit red cards in your opinion?
I'm going to be completely honest and say I didn't watch every single one,
Okay,
but but
from the ones that you saw though.
I can tell you about the ones that I read about. Um, because I had a busy weekend. Okay,
Oh, for sure. There was a lot of games. There you can't
but
watch all games at once.
from what I hear, the LA Galaxy one shouldn't have been a red card. The one in Montreal, sorry, the one in Chicago, against Montreal shouldn't have been one. DC United one is kind of like a yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah,
Uh,
because you and I were watching at the same time, and I texted you. I was like, was that wasn't the Doxo one,
I
was
think it
it?
was. Yeah,
It was the Doxo one.
I
Yeah.
think so. Um, the Seattle one, I don't think should have been. I think one of those yellow cards shouldn't have been given.
Okay.
Um, and I couldn't tell you on any of the other ones, but there I think what we're seeing right now is there's a lot of cards and red cards being given
Yeah.
that normally someone with more professional experience would be managing a lot better. They wouldn't be just giving out cards left and right just to try to calm people down.
Do you think the best thing, I guess, moving forward is maybe for these refs just to have explaining to these players who commit those fouls prior to giving those red cards?
Well, man management comes with experience.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely, definitely.
and so when these referees don't have experience speaking to high level players,
Hmm.
eh, eh, these players, a lot of them know the rules pretty well, and they know how to circumvent the rules, so get around the rules.
Yeah.
Um, and so if the referee doesn't know how to explain himself, and he starts blabbing, the players start to understand how knowledgeable these referees are, and
Definitely.
that's why this weekend, from what I'm seeing on Twitter and what I've been hearing at different press conferences, you're seeing a lot more player and coach complaints about referees, even though the league has been silencing the players and referees and broadcasters, asking them not to focus on the referees.
Yeah. And that's
Bro,
yeah, hence why players they get fined if they bring anything up about this. So it's frustrating. Like I personally would love to see maybe the referees talk to the players more prior to giving out cards, explaining, hey, cut it out, knock it off instead of you get a
Like
red
I
card.
I can understand talking. There are times when a card needs to be given like ASAP. Like,
Yeah,
hey, look,
definitely
you know, boom.
for
But
sure.
talking. It all depends on the personality of the referee too. Like we can have a whole episode about how to how to do all this. But right now, what I can say is
Oh
that these what
yeah. Overall, it was just a surprising surprise just seeing 6 red cards because it's something that we haven't seen in I guess years past when we've had normal referees.
right, right. And so I mean, just replacement referees are not professional referees. Um, let's just get that through those people that think that they're the same. They're not. So
No,
there you
no.
go.
Perfect.
That's
But
my little rant.
thanks. But besides obviously the MLS games that we had Saturday and Sunday, we had Royals. The Royals were back here at America First Stadium. So can I
What
get a what?
what?
So you weren't there, but I was there. It was a packed stadium. Unfortunate result for the Royals, 2-0, but it was still cool atmosphere. Women's soccer is back in Utah, so that's awesome. Awesome to see.
What are some positives that you can take out of Saturday? The whole experience, like everything, not just the game, because
Yeah,
we're not going to break down those games because we're not the Royals focused podcast, but we will
no,
mention them.
I think the main takeaway that I'll get from this is the fact that women's soccer, professional soccer, is back. Because obviously we have RSL, but the fact that we have a women's professional team, it's good for little girls who want to see their idols, someone to look up to like that.
Yeah, for sure. And me being you know that I've refereed women's college soccer for how long? Since 2017, I think.
Too long.
Uh,
So there's a few girls on BYU and Utah. So you probably have seen their games several times.
Yep, I have. I have. I've even done the man management thing with them while
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
field. So,
Simmer
chill,
down,
chill.
simmer down.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, it's super exciting to see a professional team, especially with how strong of university programs, women's university programs we have. We have BYU, obviously, that's always top 10. Utah is pretty strong.
Yeah, they're getting up there.
Utah State is doing well as well. So we have 3 really good, strong women's soccer program in the state, and so it's really good to finally get a professional team to kind of just lay the foundation of here it is, boom.
Yeah, yeah. Great atmosphere, great people, great fandom on Saturday. So unfortunate result, but I'm excited for this season and what's to come.
Yeah, I'm totally excited. So I would just encourage people to keep supporting and keep going because yeah, it's super exciting.
Yeah, definitely come out. I think next game is Friday night. So if you have nothing doing Friday night, head over to America First Field. They're playing North Carolina. So from what I heard, they were one of the top dogs last season in the NWSL. So
Yeah, and we have a lot of good players. So
yeah, yeah,
just go out, support. I mean, if you have plans to go out there, get more people to go with you. So
yeah, definitely.
yeah,
So like you mentioned, we have US Open Cup that starts today.
right.
Um, Today the US Open Cup starts because RSL, as you know, is in the US Open Cup with 8 other teams, including them. So
Hmm.
we kind of get to see who eventually RSL will be playing. And you want to know what I like about the US Open Cup
What?
is you get teams that you never even have heard of. Um,
Let's see who plays today that we've never heard of before.
because I was looking at some of these teams and you click on them on FotMob and you can't even see where they're from. Like one, Foro SC. Like, have you heard of Foro SC?
No, but I can probably guess that they're from like Southern California or something like that.
Another team that I've never heard of. Where was it? Duluth FC.
I mean, I can tell you where they're from. They're
Where are
from
they from?
Duluth.
They're from Duluth. No,
I'm
but
dead serious.
you're right. But all in all, U.S. Open Cup starts today for I don't know what round they're on.
This
They're
is the
around.
this is first round. This is
This is for
literally.
this is first round,
I think
but
this is first round.
pretty much I love that anybody's allowed to participate. Like you can have the smallest of clubs, and you just had to try out.
I think one year or last year, I think in order to qualify, I think the Park City Red Wolves um
They were, yeah.
played. Yeah.
So unfortunately,
That's for all of you that didn't know we had like lower teams. We have Park City Red Wolves.
we do have the Park City Red Wolves here. But there are MLS Next Pro teams in this tournament. So
Hmm.
you got Portland Timbers 2 in this, Austin FC 2. Um,
Let's see,
the
tomorrow.
tomorrow
Tomorrow
do it.
has New York Red Bulls 2, Chicago Fire 2. Um, that's all I see for now. Oh,
Oh,
Minnesota United 2.
Minnesota. So it just makes you wonder, like, since those first teams like Portland and Austin's MLS team, I wonder if they're going to send some of their MLS guys to the MLS Next Pro to compete in the U.S. Open Cup.
I mean, maybe they're bench guys.
Maybe,
It would
maybe,
make the most sense.
maybe. Obviously, I'm upset that not all of the MLS teams will be able to compete in this tournament, but it's still,
Yeah, let's not
it, it,
start that.
yeah, but it's still a great opportunity that RSL got invited, and it's still a fun tournament.
Yeah, and I think that's what everyone's saying. Like, if we can't bring home Supporter Shield or MLS Cup, let's at or Leagues Cup, let's bring home Open Cup.
Right, right. Absolutely, absolutely. So that's gonna be fun. That starts today. So obviously you're not gonna be able to watch the games, but still,
Yeah, you
just
are. Yeah, you
oh,
are.
on the website, right?
Yeah, on the U.S. Open Cup's website, actually on MLSsoccer.com, which
You're right.
by the way, I have an issue with that website name. MLSsoccer.com has the games as well. I don't know if all the games, but they will have games if you're
Okay,
interested.
you're right. You're right. Good call. Good call. Good save there.
Have you ever sorry, have you ever thought about MLSsoccer.com?
It's very long. It's very wordy.
It's Major League Soccer.com.
You're right. Well, I
You
think
never thought of that?
no, because MLS.com is taken.
Oh yeah, the housing.
The housing. Yeah, that's why. That's why they have to do MLS soccer.
MLS Soccer. Anyways,
Anywho, so we have the U17 RSL, like you mentioned. They were in a tournament out in Europe, and boy, did they kick butt or did they kick butt?
my friends, we have a future.
We have a trophy.
Oh, and we have a trophy now, but we have future.
Does that make you happy or what? Like the future is bright for RSL.
So I'm gonna be kind of negative on this. That's really cool, but unless we actually take some of those guys and actually play them on the first team,
Yeah.
like what actual first teamers do, like we saw, well, we've seen like
Like
Barcelona.
yeah.
They Pedro wasn't he wasn't like 19, 20 years old when he got
Yeah.
into the first team. He was 16, 17 years old when he got into the first team. And yes, I know you have to be like really good and whatnot, but we have good players. I mean, when are we going to start playing Gozo? When are we going to start playing Kai? When are we going to start playing some of these other players? Oh my gosh, I totally forgot his name.
Matthew
Uh,
Bell.
Thank you, Matthew Bell. There's another kid, like some of the Monarchs players that played.
Yeah. Yeah, like the Monarchs players, like some of them got their time. Like Matthew Bell had a starting spot. Zach Farnsworth, who's always been injury prone, he got the start for the Monarchs. But like I get what you're saying. Like yes, cool. Like they won this trophy. Like they're beating other great academy teams in Europe.
I found him, Wellings.
Jude Wellings, yep, 17 years old. Yep.
Thank you. I was like, where is it?
No, I got you. Like, yes, it's cool. It's a great accomplishment to be beating these good academies in Europe. But what's that going to show moving forward? Like, I want to see some of these younger guys in this U17 team go to the Monarchs and then get that experience to make it into MLS.
Yeah, yeah. I really want them to be showing some first team stuff, but I I don't want to dog too much on the club because I mean, yes, I understand where we're looking at, but I think maybe here in the next couple of years, especially with what Jason Christ has already said, that his
Yeah,
focus is on development. I think we might be seeing more of those guys maybe inserted a little bit more.
yeah.
I hope.
I hope so too, because the future is bright. The future is bright, and it's exciting to see young talent. Because yes, it's awesome to see college players eventually, but start with the younger guys. Start with the younger talent and go from there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, um, super happy for them. I mean, I think this might be. I mean, here's my ignorance. This sounds like our first international trophy with the U17s,
Possibly,
but I don't
possibly.
know. But I mean, the fact that they beat some pretty good heavy names, I think. Well, now I'm gonna start throwing out names without looking on Twitter. Was Copenhagen one of them?
You know, your guess is as good as mine. So,
Ooh, I'm throwing it out without even looking. I'm starting to turn into you now. Shots fired.
oh my goodness, but
Now I'm looking. You
no,
bet your
it.
bottom dollar I'm looking.
I,
I'm
I I
not gonna be wrong.
I do know that they did not. They only conceded. They didn't concede that many goals, so they're deep.
One. I think they conceded one.
They conceded one goal. They scored seven, so very impressive there. So, did you find
You're hoping I found it. Um,
it?
so let's see. I do have a bunch of results here that I got. Oh yeah, Copenhagen was one of them. Oh, and
Okay,
the midgetland
they beat Midgetland.
in penalties.
Ooh,
But yeah, good for them. Good for them.
yeah, solid performance. But in other RSL related news that just got dropped today, which I guess it's happy slash sad news. Congratulations, Beavers and Luna get their call up,
Yay! Beavers and Luna get a call up.
which
Yay!
it's happy news because yes, you're going for your representing your national team, but sad news in the fact that they probably won't be available for Saturday's match.
Confirmed. Luna will not be available for Saturday's match.
Wah, wah, wah.
Wah, wah, wah. So, I mean, it comes with the call.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, good for him. But let's maybe let's just dive right into it since we were talking about his absence. Let's just dive right into this Vancouver game then.
Yeah, so speaking of which, head coach for Vancouver, he has one game left on his suspension, which will be Saturday's match,
Mm-hmm.
because obviously everything that happened in their playoff game last season against LAFC, he's
Mm-hmm.
been having to serve that long suspension, which looks like Vancouver doesn't really need him because they've been doing great with their interim head coach for the time being. So, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much real influence that coaches have during a game prep. Actually, I don't even know what his suspension was even, what it even entailed, if it even included practice and association with the team. But
Mhm.
I mean, cool, good for him. He'll be back after this game.
Yeah, yeah. So last time RSL went to the Vancouver, do you remember what happened last time we went to Vancouver?
We won
We
2-1.
won. First game of the season last year, and unfortunately, player who scored in that game no longer with us. He plays for Vancouver now. Krylock.
We decided to give him to Vancouver.
Here
Nice
you
job.
go. Because you scored against Vancouver, we get him now.
Oh, weird. I didn't calculate this before, but we beat them both times
We
during the
did.
regular season, both 2-1.
Yeah, yeah. So
I
2-1
didn't,
is our
didn't even calculate it.
yeah, so like you mentioned, Vancouver, they won on Saturday, 3-1 on the road against a pretty good FC Dallas team. FC Dallas is not doing great, but they're mid. So Vancouver has a great killer attack. White, they got Gald, they got Raposo, and this guy by the name of Demir Krylak. He's been coming off the bench.
Yeah, so I mean, going over their lineup from last game. It's the same two guys that we've been worried about every single time we've played them. Luckily, we've been able to contain them, but
Yeah,
Golden White.
yeah.
I mean, those two
So
are just dangerous.
yeah, Vancouver plays very much of an attack form. They have that 3-4-3. So having three guys in the back doesn't worry them at all because they got Blackman and Veselivovic. I was like
You're like, I'm gonna do this.
that Serbian last name. That's hard. I'm like I'm trying. I'm trying.
Yes, Slavic last names are pretty hard. But to add to the Gald White pairing, Picot.
That's right. That's right. Yeah,
Oh,
they got
Fafa.
Fafa Pikal, who transferred, who came from Nashville, doing decent at Nashville, and now he's like, I'm gonna bring that scoring ability for you guys. So he
And
scored. He scored last game against FC Dallas. So
and an assist. So it's
and
not
in
like
an
it's not he just scores. He assisted as well.
Yeah. So they have multiple goal scorers this season. They have
In fact, their front three were all involved. Like,
yes.
if you look at it, out of the three goals, how does that? Oh yeah, three goals. All three of them had an assist, and two of them had goals.
So this season alone, Vancouver has scored 6 goals, 6 different goal scorers. So
That's
that's very
dangerous.
that's very worrisome. That's something to keep an eye on. So ooh,
Now, with are you worried about? I mean, this sounds really dumb, but I'm going to ask the question anyways.
okay.
Um, is there any worry about a confronting Krylock, as in, like, not like, oh, we're all angry, or he's angry, whatever.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't think we're gonna see him really, unless he plays like the last 10 minutes, like he did with us.
Yeah,
This FC Dallas game, he came in the 83rd minute.
I think it's gonna be the same thing in the Dallas game. I think Krylock comes in last 10 or so minutes. He's not gonna have major impact. And I think when he does, I think those RSL players who played against him will kind of have an idea of what to look out for.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Krylock, to be honest. Sure, it's gonna be like one of those, just like last week, or not last week, the week before, when players saw Jasper again. It's like, oh, hey, high five, how's the family, kind of stuff. Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but going back to Vancouver, their front three are going to be worrisome for us, including their midfield, because midfield has Gald in it. Their outside wingers weren't too effective, so I'm not too worried. In fact, both of them were subbed out in the 60th minute,
Yeah.
um, which, again, not too worried. But what I am worried about is what defense is going to show up, and what formation are we going to put out.
I was supposed to mention that. I strongly believe that this is the game that we get the he did come off the bench last game, but I think we get the start of Catranis on Saturday.
Okay, let's go over our lineup. What we think our lineup is going to be. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
So I'm gonna put a question mark on Glad because we don't know if he's 100%, if what he's gonna be. But I'm gonna put Catranis on that left, Glad, Vera in that middle, question mark on Glad. On my right back, I'm gonna put Hidalgo because I've been impressed with Hidalgo the past few games. Brody, not so much. That's why I think Catranis would be a better option. And then I'm gonna keep with my same two defensive mids. I'm gonna go Anelli, Ojeda, just because Ojeda is back from suspension.
Mm-hmm.
And then Luna is out for this game. So I'm going to go Barajas. Barajas on that left with in the middle. I'm going to go Tree and then Gomez and then Chicho up top.
Okay. Um, I can't deviate from that. I really think you nailed that one, to be honest. My only I think the only issue I would have, and I mentioned it to you in our messaging, was I don't know if Barajas will start. I don't know. Only because uh, we, now I'm going to contradict myself. But I told you that what if Chang starts?
That's true. That's true. I because obviously Barajas is still young. Chang brings, I guess, a little bit more experience that maybe Pablo would want off that bench. So who knows? He has those options. It's just what is he gonna which route is he going for?
My preference would be Barajas. That's my
Definitely,
preference. But
definitely.
historically, I think we've put in Chang,
Mhm.
just because Chang can fill in a winger. Now, let me throw you this curveball and what you think of this. All right.
Okay, 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 okay.
Um, Instead of Bodie, you put Anelli at right back, and you put Palacio Ojeda.
No, no, don't like it. Don't like it.
Look. This is what you get out of it. And I'm gonna this is me explaining the Colorado game as well. I think with when you put Anelli at the back right, you not only have a good defender, you also have a good play starter, a good kind of a good defensive midfielder that can also play
No,
right back,
for sure.
and you have someone that has confidence at this point to do whatever he wants to going forward.
No, that
Now,
that makes sense, but the only thing I'm against is I would want Nelson to be coming in as that super sub just because who else do we have
I don't
filling
think
in?
I don't think we sub. I
You
don't think we're
you
I, I don't think we're going to sub the defensive midfielder position.
No, you don't think so?
No, I think we need to use our subs with Tree, Chicho, one of the wingers. Um, I mean, we could see a defensive midfielder, but at this rate, I think Pablo's only used three
It's
subs per game.
Yeah, it's been mostly up top with a Chicho Tree
Let's see,
Gomez.
three there. Now I'm gonna look during the snow game. How many? How many? Oh, he used four, but that's when Pablo was around.
Yeah, yeah.
And then St. Louis. I'm gonna go through all of them, so you're gonna wait for me right now. One, two, three, four. Okay, he did four, but at that point he put in Oviedo in the 90th
Mhm.
minute, so it was like, eh.
Yeah,
And
garbage
then
time.
Miami, we didn't have that many subs, did we? No,
And
four.
then
We had
we had
four
we we had
subs,
4 we had 4 subs in the Miami game.
but that one also they subbed out. We didn't sub out whatchamacallit, Ruiz. What the heck?
No,
Sorry,
no.
give me two
So
seconds.
so while you're looking that up, I
I found it. Sorry. Go ahead.
so we've had 4 points in 4 games. Is Saturday's game a must-win for RSL?
Yes.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
We have to win. We have to win because right now,
Because like I mentioned, you see how hot of a start Minnesota's off to, Portland's off to a hot start. It's just it wouldn't make sense for us to just not get points there.
so we need to win. We need to
Mhm.
obviously have a lineup that comes out sparking fast,
Definitely.
just like what we did second half of Miami, first half of St. Louis, or second almost whole game of St. Louis.
Yeah, the
Um,
second half.
in fact, those are the only two games that we can really talk about. I mean, and then the first 30 minutes of Colorado.
Yeah, yeah. So
I mean, so we need to come out. Now, I have a question for you. What do you want to see out of whatever lineup you just mentioned? What do you
mhm.
want or need to see in order for us to have success this game?
I wanna see a fast attack. I wanna see us not being afraid to take those shots on goal because so many times this season in our games we're just going down the right flank, going down the left side, and we're just waiting for those crosses. And sometimes we saw in the Colorado game, it was a late cross, and Chicho was a little too late for that. And enough of those crosses, just do a Baracas. That's just go from the top of the box and just rip it. Just take a shot.
So that's why I was mentioning my weird change up with Anelli at the right back with Nelson and with Ojeda.
Yeah,
Because what I saw in the Colorado game was too many times Bodie would run down that right side, and he'd get into the box, and he'd get
you
deep,
just
deep, 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 and he was waiting for a cross instead of just launching the ball at the net. Just launch it. I mean,
yeah.
what do you have to lose? I mean, there's 4 or 5 defenders inside the box. You're not going to get through all of them. Just launch a shot.
And that's why I'm excited for if Catranis does get that start on Saturday because it'll be a different player, something that we're not used to. So he definitely he mentioned in a press conference, it was back in the Colorado game, that's something that he's going to bring to this team is speed, spraying speed and tenacity. And he definitely he seems like that he'll have that fight and that passion to win for us.
Yeah, yeah. So let's get into it. Let's get into some prediction time then.
Yeah, so I'll start us off. So first game against Demir Kryluk. This is going to be a good one, but it's not going to be the result that we want, unfortunately. So it's going to be a hard fought game, a 1-1 draw. 1-1 draw on the road on turf as well. So 1-1 draw.
Okay. I'm gonna go a little bit more negative. I and I hope obviously I hope I'm wrong, but with how we're going right now and with how well Vancouver is going, I really think it's just gonna be a 2-1 loss for us.
Oh
It's gonna be a
man.
tough one. Unfortunately, that's how it's gonna be this time around. So
Went went went.
wah
It's like
wah wah.
you can't win them all, unfortunately, but
She even says wah wah wah.
she even said went.
Oh man.
Awesome. Awesome. We shall see what happens. RSL plays this Saturday on the road in Vancouver, 5:30 kick. We will try to be at Kaye.
We'll try. We'll
We'll
definitely
try to be
try.
We'll try to be there at Kaye. But if you guys are not already following us, head over to Twitter and Instagram at the RSL Bros. Listen to us on the go on Spotify and Apple. And if you're watching right now on YouTube, hit that follow button as well.
You're like follow, subscribe, whatever.
Yeah,
Also, if you're already listening to us, tell a friend too, because
yeah.
we're spouting all this stuff, and if you're already listening, I mean, it's kind of useless. We're trying to tell you to share.
Spread the good words.
Are the code words. Sounds good.
Awesome. Well, you guys are awesome. We will catch you guys next week. Take care.
Peace out.
Bye.